Yeas are 49, the nays are 50. The amendment is not agreed to. The senator from Texas.
Mr. President, I call up my amendment number 968 and ask that it be reported by number.
The clerk will report by number.
The senator from Texas, Mr. Cruz, proposes an amendment number 968 to amendment number 891.
I ask unanimous.
The Senate will come to order. The senator from Texas.
I ask unanimous consent for 2 minutes of debate, equally divided.
Without objection.
Mr. President, moments ago, the Democrats in this chamber just voted to send $1,400 stimulus checks to murderers, to rapists, and child molesters incarcerated in prison. This amendment, just like the one we just voted on that Senator Cassidy and I introduced, this amendment before us today provides that the stimulus check should not go to illegal aliens in this country. The question for the American people to answer is, should your money, should taxpayer money, be sent $1,400 to every illegal alien in America? This amendment provides that it should not, that stimulus checks should only go to American citizens or to people lawfully present. Now, the Democrats may say their language allows for that, but they know that the IRS treats someone who was illegally present in the United States for 31 days last year as a resident alien. And so this corrects that and ensures that illegal aliens are not eligible for taxpayer-funded stimulus checks.
The senator for Illinois.
Mr. President, the statement of the senator from Texas is just plain false. False. Let me be clear. Undocumented immigrants do not have Social Security numbers, and they do not qualify for stimulus relief checks, period. And just in case you didn't notice, they didn't qualify in December when 92 of us voted for that measure, and they don't qualify under the American Rescue Plan. Nothing has changed. And for you to stand up there and say the opposite is just to rile people up over something that's not true.
Will the senator yield for a question?
No, I won't. It is not true. And we know what's going on here. They want to be able to give speeches that say the checks go to undocumented people. In the circumstance where there is a parent undocumented receiving a check for the child, that's it. But no money going to undocumented people under the American Rescue Plan.
Mr. President, do I have any time remaining? I call for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There is. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin. Ms. Baldwin, no. Mr. Barrasso. Mr. Barrasso, aye. Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, no. Mrs. Blackburn. Mrs. Blackburn, aye. Mr. Blumenthal. Mr. Blumenthal, no. Mr. Blunt. Mr. Blunt, aye. Mr. Booker. Mr. Booker, no. Mr. Bozeman. Mr. Bozeman, aye. Mr. Braun. Mr. Braun, aye. Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, no. Mr. Burr. Mr. Burr, aye. Ms. Cantwell. Mrs. Capito. Mrs. Capito, aye. Mr. Cardin. Mr. Cardin, no. Mr. Carper. Mr. Carper, no. Mr. Casey. Mr. Casey, no. Mr. Cassidy. Mr. Cassidy, aye. Ms. Collins. Ms. Collins, aye. Mr. Coons.